Sky to Walt Disney Imagineering is a really unique time, and it's a time when there's no limits, there's no boundaries. You're allowed to say, if I could just imagine anything, what would it be?
Mickey and I started out the first time many, many years ago. We've had a lot of our dreams come true. Now we want you to share with us our latest and greatest dream.
As you enter Disney California Adventure, you'll be transported back to Buena Vista Street, the Los Angeles of Walt's start. There you'll be able to experience the city as Walt once did, with boundless imagination, and become part of a story that can only be brought to life by the magic of the Disney Imagineers.
Buena Vista Street at Disney California Adventure is a tribute to Walt arriving in California in the 1920s and 1930s. As you walk down the street, many of the shops, restaurants that you see look as if they could have inspired Walt Disney to create the motion pictures and the shorts that he did. The name of the street owes a lot to Disney history. Buena Vista Street is just a street in Burbank, California. But what made it significant for Disney is this is where Walt built his studio.
Every shop, in every little corner that you turn, there's going to be something new to see and something new to discover. And really this feeling as if though you've literally stepped back into Disney time. You've stepped back into a place that would feel like you might run into Walt, you might run into one of the 9 old men. You really might have this sense of anything could happen.
This team consisted of a lot of people who were born, raised, grew up here in Los Angeles, and also had a lot of affinity for the city, myself being one of them.
The thing about Los Angeles struck me was the diversity of the culture and the diversity of texture of the city. And every corner of it has its own feeling and identity.
Well, for Buena Vista Street, I put 5 architects on that street. I said, you do this one, you do this one, you do this one, and we'll sort of have negotiations for our neighbors and make sure everybody gets along scale-wise, but that way it's going to give the street much more of an authentic feeling.
We really worked hard to give each one of the shops a distinct identity, and so each shop has its own color palette and its own proprietor and its own story, and the interior designers were really, really critical in making sure that each little detail was correct.
My father had an office in downtown Los Angeles, so as a kid I would go down there and I would see him working, I would see the trolley cars, I would see the building. I saw a lot of things that are no longer around today, but what it did is it gave me an appreciation for history and it gave me an appreciation for the place. I have had a first-hand experience with many of the elements that we're reproducing here. We're really paying a lot of attention to creating the reality of the street.
Clarabelle's hand-scooped ice cream is a tribute to the character of Clarabelle the cow.
We were given Clarabelle's as an inspiration. It went toward the yummy ice cream, pastel colors, but they all remind you of ice cream flavors such as chocolate, vanilla, strawberries, and sprinkles. The particular tile is an image of an ice cream sundae. The tile work and the decorative patterns in Clarabelle's are going to be so yummy, you're going to want to lick the walls.
One of the things that was really important to the team as we began to look at this really immersive new main entrance was to provide an icon or a centerpiece that would really culminate your journey as you walk up the street. One of the things that kept resonating was the significance of the night that Snow White premiered. We realized that the Carthay Circle Theater was this incredible icon.
Some people felt it was Walt's folly, some people felt that it would be a tremendous failure. A full-length feature animated film had never been made before.
With Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, he staked everything he had in his company on this animated feature.
Even leading up to the night that Snow White premiered, everything was riding on that. Everything was hinging on that. No one knew. Really, the success of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs made Walt Disney, the Walt Disney Company, and opened the door for the generations of excitement and joy that's been brought to people around the world. If it wasn't for that, none of this would be here. The whole journey of Walt Disney arriving in 1923 and then premiering Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937 was this incredible story of kind of going from rags to riches, of a man with a dream who made that dream come true. And so this building, this theater, really embodies that culmination of a dream.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past, and here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
In front of the Carthay Circle Theater is going to be an amazing new Walt and Mickey statue.
This is a Walt and Mickey just starting out in the late 1920s. Walt has just created Mickey Mouse, and they just have hopes and dreams and possibilities ahead of them. And that's what this statue represents. It represents the optimism, the hope, the promise, everything that Walt Disney had ahead of him and everything that California offers.
We think that this statue sets the tone and really sets up the story for Disney California Adventure.
As a child, when I was growing up, I used to watch Adventureland, and I couldn't wait because in Tehran I go and watch TV and see what is the Disney coming up next. But I really grew up with, like any other kids at the time, that the Disney culture was creating a new vision for kids. It was global. It didn't belong just to American kids. It belonged to nations everywhere else. My name is Ramesh Larijani, and I'm an Imagineer.
People coming from all over the world to enjoy what we do, to be entertained, to experience a place like no other, and create memories. And that's what I believe Buena Vista Street will do, yet another wonderful memory. When my grandfather took me to Disneyland, I was still in the baby carriage. I think I was not even quite one. I never really got to meet him in a way that I remember, but that picture of him with me on Main Street was very special. That picture was my memory of my grandfather. My name is Terry Andrade, and I'm an Imagineer.
This project would be my Carthay Circle because it takes what I love and the passion that I have and the passion that I have for our guests' experience and our guests' enjoyment, and it puts it up and wraps it up into one neat little area, and I can't think of anything better. Honestly, I can't.
I was born in Los Angeles, Queen of Angels Hospital, so I was literally in Los Angeles. And I used to commute a lot with my father. My father had, I think, a very strong desire for me to go into designer art. Len, you're going to be a designer. For all the art classes he put in, I put in calculus, algebra, chemistry. And he said, "Why are you fighting this? This is in your blood. You should just go into design school." I came home. I told my parents I'm switching my major. I think he was very proud. He was very happy. My father grew up in Los Angeles. Loved this city, so there's a lot of sentimentality here as well. The neighborhoods I love, the people that I love. Hopefully that translates into a reality. My name is Lynn Itamura, and I'm an Imagineer.
I've learned a lot of things from Walt. You should never give up on your ideas. Through all the odds, keep battling just as Walt did, because in the end, if you really truly believe in your idea, it's going to happen. My name is Dave Fisher, and I'm an Imagineer.
It's a really inspiring story when you think about the fact that Walt Disney came to California and in such a short time was able to make his dreams come true. It's this idea that if you think it, if you can dream it, you can do it. We at Imagineering have that feeling to work in a place in which we do get to think it and dream it and then do it. And I think that's something that makes Disney parks unique, is that you come here and you do get imbued with that spirit. That, you know, life is really about you having dreams and making those dreams come true. And we really want people to come away from a day in Disney California Adventure. We want them to come away with that same kind of a feeling.